Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. In today's video, we're going to continue on with my store updates. What we do at these store updates is I let you know what's been going on over the last week or so, what miniatures we've got in, what I've finished, what I'm working on, etc., and news, things like this. Alright, so in today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm only using one camera. We're not showing the table. There's no real need for it. Okay, so in my subjects that I've got on my screen here, first of all, let's talk about what I finished. Well, I finished my Macedonian cavalry, right? So you've seen it. There's a previous video, me showing off the Macedonian cavalry and my army. There is companions, the Agemas, some Thessalians, and some Greeks. And those, not only did I give you a close-up of all those units, but I also pulled out all my Macedonian figures, the entire army, and I put it on the table so you can see everything in its grandeur. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, the Macedonian army is pretty much finished, except for maybe a camp. I need to build a camp, and once I do that, the Macedonian army is finished. And I'm going to put them on the shelf, on display, ready to play. All right, and the next army I'm going to start working on is probably the Marian Romans. This is a future project. So the Germans, I realized that I made them flexible. I based them up as flexible because I was planning on, I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do it. I thought I wanted to use Gaelic armies, but in fact, I do want to use the early German army. So the units in the early German army can be flexible, but the Cherusci, which is a nation in Germany, I'm not going to call them a tribe, but you could call them a tribe. They fought as loose, and so if you take your German infantry and you choose to play the Cherusci, then they're all loose. And that's kind of the way I wanted to play the scenario for the scenarios that I have where Caesar goes into Gaul, right? So if I'm going to be playing those, I need to base them as loose and not flexible. So what that has done is it's allowed me to convert some of the four-figure bases into three-figure bases. So that's going to allow me to expand the number of bases that I have available. But the downside is, instead of only having 6 bases in a unit, I should have 8 bases in a unit. I could have 6 or 8 or even 9, but I'm trying to go with the maxima, remember. So I think 90 bases is the option. So that's 10 units of 9, and I think I've got 7. So I'm probably going to need to be painting some more Germans. But that's on the back burner. I think I'm going to do Marian Romans next. Just FYI. Okay, so that's what I finished this last week. What am I working on? Well, first of all, you can hear sirens outside. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like a fire. But I'm going to let them go by. Okay, they've all gone by. So what I'm working on right now is customer commissions. So not any of my personal projects. I'm not working on any of them. On the table right now, I've got some Panthers. So I'm working on, I have some repeat customers which is a good sign. It makes me feel good when a customer gets painted miniatures from me. They like them so much that they redo or request more miniatures to be painted by me for them. So I'm excited about that. But I have like 6 armies that I need to paint. So my workload is pretty much going to be full for about a month, maybe a month and a half. Um, but right now I'm working on, actually probably more than that. I'm working on German, Russian, SS, British, French, Napoleonic, Prussian, not Prussian, Polish, Napoleonic, and I think I have some Americans too. So there's like 7 armies. So a lot of that is 15 millimeter World War II and some 28 millimeter Napoleonics. Um, Decided to start with in lots or in batches. So my first batch is the German World War II. The German World War II, probably with the Russian as well. Because I can get the Germans and Russians done, and then that's one lot to one customer. So that'll probably be, and then I'll probably jump on some SS or something like that next. So I don't want to paint one customer's SS and another customer's Germans at the same time because I don't want to get any mixture. So I'm keeping them separate, keeping them in separate boxes, stuff like that. So not only does that help me keep them separate, but it also prevents me from getting overloaded with too many miniatures on my table. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. That's probably what I'm going to be working on in the next 4 to 6 updates. Okay, product. Okay, so I've got some Meg rule books in, and they're on the store. I got a restock of all my battle group rule books and campaign books. Those should be on the store. I added the card sleeves, and I'm going to be adding some 20 by 40 bases as well. I think I have them on the shelf right over there. I just don't have them posted on my site. So I'll be adding those shortly if you need any bases, because I've got way more than enough bases for myself, and why not take those extras and sell them. Now what I'm going to do is instead of selling them as a 25 pack or whatever pack, I'm going to probably sell them as 2 units of 9. So what is that, 18? I'm probably going to sell them as 18s or maybe 16, which is 2 units of 8. 16 is probably the way I'm going to go. So you get them in chunks, in 2 units at a time. At the time, okay, working on World War II, Napoleon commissions, Meg. Okay, so other products that I have en route is the camps, right? I've got Roman campsites, I've got medieval campsites, ancient campsites, a bunch of different campsites. Those should be coming in. I've also got some Cromartie 3D printed Romans should be coming in, just to see what those look like, as well as some Boetta stuff. Okay, so all that should be coming in, but currently they're not in yet. Before we get into news, I want to show you something. You might have noticed that I've got some fingertips. Under these fingertips, I don't know if you can see that, but under these fingertips are bandages. I was noticing a couple of days ago that my fingers were all starting to grow blisters. I mean, large blisters. Like there's a huge blister on this middle finger, right? Um, and I think it was because of all the painting I've been doing recently, all the wrapping of miniatures with like bubble wrap. It's like rubber bubble wrap. You know how bubble wrap is, like a plastic rubber. So the friction on wrapping miniatures and stuff like that for shipment uh, causes like a heat friction on my fingers, and I think that's where the blisters came from. It hasn't. I'm not doing like any yard work or shoveling or swinging a sledgehammer or anything like that that would cause blisters. The only thing that it could possibly be would be my modeling and my painting and my boxing and shipping and delicate work. Just so much of it that it's caused these fingers to blister up. So I've covered them with bandages temporarily, and I put these fingertips on, which are really just non-slip fingertips to prevent the bandages from coming off. Not to protect my fingers or anything, because the bandages work just fine. But these are like condoms or whatever to keep the bandages on. Uh, I have some new types of bandages. I decided to go ahead and order them. Some new bandages that are specifically designed for fingertips. So I guess they're like bandages, but then they have wide bottoms to wrap around your finger or something like that. So those should be in any day now. So I'll be getting those. Um, I also got in. Now I didn't get these in for this specific purpose. I was going to use them anyway for to prevent future blisters from appearing when I do bubble wrapping and stuff like that, or if I'm handling some hot items, because sometimes I do, and these fingertips have worked really good for me. But I also got in some thimbles, which they're made of bronze. Yeah, they're made out of bronze. And I don't know if you can see that. They're really, the main reason why I got those in was because when I was doing the Macedonians and the pikemen, I kept poking my fingers by accident. So it wasn't like a deliberate, hey, let's do this, and then oops, I slipped and poked my finger. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was like I reach down and grab a miniature, and I get poked by a spear. And so I said, let me get some thimbles so that I can work with that a little bit better. And when I'm doing pin vicing, because a lot of times I'll hold the miniature in one hand and my thumb is right here, and I drill, and it like drills into my thumb or whatever. So, long overdue, I decided to go ahead and get those. So I got these fingertips and I got those thimbles. But that's pretty much the only thing that I got in for my hobbying. Um, Finally, the news. As of the last time I looked on the website, the GoDaddy is telling the guys at 19th Century Miniatures, because they're the ones that own Old Glory 15s. They keep telling them, we're almost done, we're almost done. It'll be done on this day, it'll be done on this day. That's been going on for 2 months. They were originally, they were going to be down between the 1st and the 7th of July. The 1st and the 7th of July. So on the 1st, it went down. And then they said, oh, it's not, maybe the 22nd, or it's not back up on the 7th, it might be the 9th, and then it might be the 15th, and then it might be the 22nd. and then they said it's going to be August 1st, and then then eventually it became August 22nd. I remember that day specifically. And then just recently I went to the Facebook page and it said the newest update was the 29th. That was yesterday. And I checked it yesterday, it was not up. So I'm not stressing over this. I'm putting this out as news. I'm concerned about 19th century miniatures. They make some of the best 15 millimeter miniatures ever. You know, World War II. They stopped selling their World War II. They pretty much delegated that to Old Glory Miniatures, which offers what's called the Command Decision line. So they do that, and then but they have their own battle honors and stuff like that. But I'm getting off on a tangent. But they make great ancients and Napoleonic miniatures, probably some of the best, if not the best, figures in those lines. And it would be a shame if this GoDaddy website update that's causes them to go out of business, because on their Facebook they're talking about they're throwing out ideas that they might be closing their doors because sales have dropped so much that they might not be able to keep the doors open. I find this to be ridiculous. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a soothsayer or anything, but I do want to let you know, or I just want to give you my opinion or my thought process, and it might or might not be accurate, but I have created my own website and sold my own product. I had a website probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. It was called Screaming Eagle Airsoft. And the website address was screamingeagleairsoft.com. I purchased that URL. I went through GoDaddy to do it, just like Old Glory is doing. There was I didn't know what I was doing. I'm going to tell you right now, I did not know what I was doing. And I did not want to go to an outside party and pay someone to make a website for me. So what I did was I went on to their website making software. GoDaddy offers a bunch of free software to make websites. I found one that I thought was good, right? And it was good. So I downloaded it, and 99% of the program was web-based. So when you would log into your admin account, and then it would take you to your you could click on the website creation tool, and it would, once you've installed it in your account, it would open, and this is all web based, so nothing's on my computer, or pretty much nothing. And then it would say, like, what are your store categories? What is the item name? What is the description? And all I had to do was just sit there and type all day. Description, item number, price, shipping cost, weight, or whatever I wanted to do, however I wanted to do it. I could have a flat shipping, or I could have did it a million different ways. They had a payment system built in, but I which I used because it was included, but all I wound up doing was have them transfer that money to, it might have been PayPal or it might have been directly in my bank. I don't remember. But but basically there was a payment system already installed, and it might have been PayPal. I don't remember. And the GoDaddy system was super easy. All I had to do was like, now I understand that if it was an Old Glory website, right, and if I took a list of all of their product, it might take me, like if I had to do it, it might take me about 18 days. And I say that because they say there's 1,800 different items, right? If there's 18, I could do 100 items in a day. That wouldn't be terrible, you know. If I could do if I could do 10 items an hour, right? Just thinking out loud. If I did 10 items an hour and I did a 40-hour work week, right? I could do 400 items. So what is that? 4 to 5 weeks, maybe? That's for one person doing that for free, right? Doing it myself. That's going in there and adding. Now, you're uploading pictures, which I did. I found these pictures online, either on the manufacturer's websites or, just my personal photographs or whatever, and I would upload them to GoDaddy. So when I go to the tool, it would say drag and drop a picture, and I just drag and drop it onto the thing. And then there was it. What was I selling? I was selling airsoft guns, masks, goggles, batteries, BBs, jackets, full uniforms, LBE, the plate carriers, the pouches, and basically anything that could be used for airsoft. I I had on my website, and I sold a ton of it. Um, I think my URL was a little too long. Screaming Eagle Airsoft. That was too long. I probably should have named it something else like Shoot Airsoft, or just Tennessee Airsoft, which I think was already in use, but or some letters like UAE Airsoft or something, but or 101. But it I think the URL was too long. But either way, I got email through my personal website. It was Derek at screamingairsoft.com, and so I got admin email at info and sales at screamingairsoft.com, stuff like that. That's how I named the different email channels. And then all I did was I logged into the admin of GoDaddy every day to check my email from that, and then I also had to check my orders to see what was being ordered and what wasn't being ordered. This is a little backstory, but it did cost me um, a yearly fee, which was ridiculously low. If I remember right, I think it was like $25, something like that, a year to maintain this website. Um, which now, fast forward to 2023, and we got Old Glory using GoDaddy, but it sounds to me like nobody at Old Glory is willing or confident enough or to get on and make their own website. Okay, that's fine. Not everybody's, a genius, and not everybody they might be afraid they're going to mess it up or something like that. They don't want to mess anything up. So they commissioned GoDaddy to do it for them. I didn't know GoDaddy offered that service, but um, but maybe they do. And if they do offer that service, it probably costs a pretty penny, right? Um, because you're paying the programmer, the guy that's filling in the blanks, right? You're paying him, and uh, I don't know if they have any incentive to get it done. And so it would be so much easier for them to just tell GoDaddy, just say, GoDaddy, stop doing what you're doing. We're going to just get somebody else to do it. Pump your brakes or whatever. And they could have gone to an outside company. There was a company when I owned a brick and mortar game store called the War Room here in Clarksville. They there was somebody that came into my store face to face, salesman, and he was a website designer. And he said, do you have a website? At the time, I didn't. Stupid me. I didn't. I should have. I didn't. He said, you should have a website. And if you want a website, I can put it together for you. And it's not super expensive. It's like $200. And at the time, I didn't see that. This was a long time ago. But at the time, like in the 90s, I was like, I don't really see the need for a website. I'm more of a local boy. The only people I'm not mail ordering. I wasn't shipping. I would have, and I should have, but I didn't. I focused locally, and the guy said, we can do this for $200. Fast forward to 2023, let's double it. Let's say it's $400. That's a huge amount of interest. But let's just say it's $400 or $500 to get a website done professionally by a third party. Well, glory, do that. You've had 2 months of downtime. I'm sure your sales have tanked. I don't know how much you're paying GoDaddy. I don't know how much you paid GoDaddy to do this. But if this third party would have had my website up and running, they said, in about a week, right? And that would have only been like a trial or a temporary thing just so I could see it and get an idea of what the website would look like. And then they could go in and add product. They said they could maintain it, which I don't really like third parties. I still wouldn't like a third party to maintain my website. I would want all the administrative capability to go in and update product and stuff like that. Create it, upload all the default information and stuff like that. Great. But I'll manage it, right? So it was only going to cost me like $200, $400, something like that. But they were going to charge me like $100 a month after that to maintain it. I'm like, I don't need that. I don't, and at first I felt like there was pressure sales. He was trying to force himself on me, and so I didn't like that. Looking back on it, I probably should have did it. But I could have done it. I could have done it because I did when I closed those doors and moved on. I started playing a lot of airsoft, and I said, you know what? Why don't I open my own airsoft store online? And I did. And I've been thinking about opening my own store for historical miniatures and stuff like that online as well. But I'm not in any hurry to do that. Because right now I'm just selling everything through eBay, and I'm actually kind of happy about that right there. Um, they handle all the finances, and I can print my shipping labels through them and everything else. So I can print my own shipping labels anyway, and but that's neither here nor there. But um, so the news is Old Glory is still down, and I just think Old Glory is mismanaging this opportunity to get their store back up and running. I'm just, this is my gut feeling. They're afraid to do it themselves. They're afraid they're going to mess something up. This is not what they said, but they've commissioned GoDaddy to do it for them, and GoDaddy is dropping the ball. And if you go to their Facebook page, everybody's talking about legal action, sue them for the lost uh, money that you would have made if you have the store open, and all that stuff. I don't think they need to do that. I don't think it's lawfully, or what am I trying to say? Not lawful. I don't think it's to the point where you need to sue somebody over it. That's like drastic measures. I think they should just tell them, if it's not done by the end of the week, let's just give me my money back, whatever they paid for their services. Just give me my money back, and I'll get a third party to do it. You can still do it and have GoDaddy be your ISP, right? Your not your, I guess, not your server, but your host, right? You can still have them as your host, but so GoDaddy's still going to get their money, because you're reserving the URL through them, but which you don't actually have to do. You can reserve a URL through anybody else. You might even try Wix or whatever, because I looked at Wix. Wix has got pretty much the same thing. It's got its own website design software. It's a little harder to use than the GoDaddy one that I downloaded, but if you mess with it quite a bit, you could figure it out. And Old Glory is not one for being very fancy. Their old website was just black and white, text and pictures. That's all it was. So I don't see why there's no video, there's no like flashy, graphics or anything on the screen, or anything. So I don't understand why they're struggling. It doesn't make sense. They did say they put some of the pictures with some of the wrong product, and some of the wrong product, and some of the wrong categories. That's one reason why I would want to do it myself. If you don't have somebody working at Old Glory that knows how to do that, go third party. Hire somebody. Hell, I would do it if they paid me to do it. I would do it. I'd get on there, give me the admin password, I'd log in, give me all the pictures and all the stats and data, and I would upload it, and it wouldn't take me 2 months. What first of all, what I would do was, and this is what I would do. I would make a page that said the website is down. It would be Old Glory, thanks for visiting us, blah, blah, blah. The website is down due to maintenance. Expected, and then I would put on there, expected to be up on the 1st of the month, or whatever. They don't even have that. When you click on Old Glory, it goes to, there's no website. That's a bad thing. So I'd make a page, a home page that just said, we're down. Now, as I added pages, what I would do is I would put on that homepage updates. The website is down until a certain date, but these items are being added or have been added, so that you can go look at them, even if the payment system was not added, or install the payment system first, and then as you add items, link it to the payment system or whatever, and then, but on the home page, say Not everything has been uploaded yet. We've only got Austrians. We've only got Macedonians uploaded, or whatever it is. More to come every day. Check back every day to see what's uploaded. That's what I would do. And it would be a gradual growth in the website until all the items were added. They haven't done that. It's been all or nothing. It's been all nothing. And there's no website even when you click on it. It doesn't go to anywhere. It just says doesn't exist. All right. That's enough of me venting. Sorry, that's not what this video is about. This video is about my store, not their store. Okay. So, but it's also about the news, and I just like to share the news with everybody. I'm not planning on putting an Old Glory order in. I was planning on doing a pretty sizable Old Glory order, mainly to fill in the blanks with my Meg armies now that I've decided to go to Maximus. But I'm telling you right now, I don't want to send them an email. I might though. I might put something together and send them an email and see what can happen. Just to help them out because they are struggling. So if you have any need for any 15mm miniatures, you can get a PDF. I did get the PDF from them. It's their full catalog. It's got the prices and everything. All you got to do is email it back to them, and they'll send you an invoice, whatever. I don't know. I assume they're going to send me an invoice if I send them this email. All right. Well, that's where we're going to land it. Thanks for coming out and checking this out. I'm sorry this video came out a little late. It's been hard for me to type because these blisters have been hurting, or I should say they've been getting in the way. I even canceled my Harn game for this evening because I can't type very well, and grabbing the mouse and clicking on the mouse, it doesn't hurt so much. Yeah, it doesn't have like, on a scale of like 1 to 10, it's like a 2 on pain. So it's not really, I don't call that hurting, but it is sore. We'll call it sore. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.